Good morning. Profitable day yesterday, and this is the key. This was the Man United Grimsby match a couple of days ago. I always try to set up where I try to entice you to stay in for the big win while taking a very small hit on the draw. It's a scenario I like. And as you can see with Man United not quite reaching there, you still make a marginal loss with a chance of 61 quid had they pulled in through. Ammonia and the Wolf went for 1-0 at half-time. Ammonia had to score and score first. The half-time markets are there to create value for you. You're creating value because you've set yourself a time limit of could be as little as 20-25 minutes, which is how I use the first half markets. Delay and then enter to create a little bit of value. Ammonia were dominating. They had to score first. They did score first. And the real pattern yesterday's second legs, odds on favourites tended to score in the first half. Odds on favourites tended to score in the first half. Besiktas, I think, were the only side not to. RFS, I think, first half. Rayo Vallecano, another one who didn't score in the first half, but this should have laid the draw second half because 1-0, far too tenuous. Could have argued that for Palace, but they've got a Premier League match at the weekend. Very well managed, this one, but flirting with disaster. You've only got a 1-0 first leg lead. But the vast majority of odds on favourites were scoring first half yesterday. Odds on favourite and needing to score. Odds on favourite and a goal down. They tended to score before half-time. Is that something for the future? We'll find out in the next set of second legs. The big winner for me yesterday, Fiorentina. At home, 0-2 down. Had to score the next goal because the aggregate's getting far too tight at 2-3. They can't let Policia get any belief that they can actually pull this one off. And off they went to town, Fiorentina. Brilliant result. Getting a 3-goal haul to get the win eventually. So that's a really nice bonus last night. And I ended the trading after that. When you've hit a nice profit like that, take it to the bank. Rigas, again, leaving a little on the draw in the hope that they can pull off the win. Poor performance, and I did warn members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram if you're playing or trusting a Latvian side like Rigas, footballer, Skola, good luck. Thankfully, they made it 2-2 after going a goal down to Hamrun Spartans. So we did take a hit on the draw, but that was amply compensated elsewhere. A late lay of Ammonia in this particular match, given the red card, and Wolfsberger did reply to the red card, keep your liability low. This was done. I like these plays at odds of 1.09 and 1.06. So you keep your liability low. You can keep your liability even lower by halving the amounts here. So 25 quid profit for a £2 stake. That's still pretty decent because a lot of the time they won't pull it off. But when they do, you're going to clean up. So all in all, an excellent night last night for members of footballtradingprofits.com. And as I say, a lot left behind, really. Could have taken a lot more out of the market yesterday, but let's not be greedy. Come out of it with the green screen. Now, I'm off on my motorbike today from Huahin all the way to Pattaya. So that's going to be a lot of fun on the second most dangerous roads on planet Earth. It's a bit of a journey on the old motorbike, but it takes me through Bangkok, and this is repercussions of getting that crypto hack at the start of the year. I'm having to downscale. Thankfully, I bought a condo here many years ago. 6-hour journey. I can make it a little quicker than that, I think. We will see. So that's my Friday, my day off. An entertaining trip from west to east going through the capital. Oh, what fun there is to be had on the second most dangerous roads on planet Earth. Fantastic stuff. But if I survive that, it is my day off. I'm probably not going to be up and about this evening. It was a very late one for me last night, if you factor in the 6-hour time difference, but well worth it with Fiorentina. And as I say, frustrating I couldn't get a lot more on board. Let's take a look through some of today's matches for you. Another one to target immediately for me, Vejle, newly promoted. Just looking at Istra. Croatian HNL1 League is worth your attention, particularly odds on favourites at home. But Vejle likely to see goals in this particular match against Viborg. They are starting to look like a newly promoted team, struggling a little, Vejle, but their matches do tend to see goals in them. Danish First Division, not just yet, but some sides do have a reputation for goals yet again in this league. Could be one of those to practice your over 2.5 goals. Leicester and Birmingham. Well, you can look at the form in any number of ways. Given the fact it's so early in the season, you might as well stay with soccer24.com. Go to H2H, and then you can have a look where it says CHA. That's the championship form. 2-1 win. Started off with a profitable trade for us. Preston getting the late win against Leicester. And a not very impressive, but important 0-1 win against Charlton. What is happening with Leicester in the Championship? Well, they're finding it extremely competitive. 3 matches with 1 goal in it. So that's going to be the pattern, I think, for them this season. Birmingham. The last time I met Birmingham was back in 2024, like with Leicester win, like 2 occasions. Birmingham, how are they doing? You show more matches at the bottom here. So CF is friendlies. 1-1 against Ipswich. 2-1 win away at Blackburn. And a 1-0 home win at Oxford United. And again, what is the pattern you're noticing with Birmingham? 1 goal in it, if there is a goal in it. So this has the feeling this evening, Leicester and Birmingham, being a very, very competitive match for Leicester. Another burden for them in their search for 3 points. What does the market say? Well, the market agrees with me. 2.4 the favourite, making this incredibly difficult to pick. The possibility might be there for both teams to score, but it could as equally be a 1-0 0-1 as a 1-1 or a 2-1 1-2. It could be that kind of a match. 1 goal in it. Another, I think, real battle for Leicester in the Championship. It's going to be a tough season for them to get out and straight back into the Premier League. English League 2, Salford against Cheltenham has an air of inevitability about it. How confident is the market? Well, we can have a quick look at the form. I do all this research for members, but it's worth having a look, see how you can, particularly this early in the season, you can check out the matches yourself. So League 2 has been busy. 5 matches in for Salford. A 1-3 loss, a 1-2 away win, a 2-1 home win, a 1-0 away win, and a 1-0 loss. So bar that 3-1 defeat at the start of the season, Salford have been keeping teams within a 1-goal reach. That does suggest if their opponent scores first today, they have the opportunity to get out and equalise. Looking at Cheltenham, should stick to horse racing, I think, because this is looking awful, isn't it? It's got the air of newly promoted about it, but I don't think they are. Newly promoted to English League 2. They just got the feeling of a side who look newly promoted, but they're not. Cheltenham, they're just having an awful season. Based solely on that form, there's a 1-0 defeat, 2-0 defeat, failing to score, failing to score, failing to score, failing to score. Okay? That's why Salford is such hot order this evening. Cheltenham are failing to score. So if Cheltenham do score first this evening, surely, based on the seasonal form, they are layable. And really, Salford should have a good opportunity to get at least an equaliser and push on. FA Cup qualifiers, probably too illiquid. Pickering Town, Ronnie Pickering. Fantastic. You remember Ronnie Pickering? I'll be interested to see whether Ronnie Pickering turns up for Pickering Town this evening and picking fights with motorcyclists. Would be a fantastic watch. Premier League 2 is a great opportunity for you to look at that over 2.5 goals idea in the Premier League 2 and the Professional Development League. Here's how I would look at it. There's only 2 matches here. Click on the match of interest, and I'm actually recording these results now in all leagues. Any over 2.5 goals at 1.5 or lower, you go over and under here. Scroll down to the 2.5 and you'll see 1.3 here. Either Bet365 or 1xBet. 1.3 just gives you an indicator that this is fitting in with a likely over 2.5 goals, which we expect in a professional development league. So what am I going to do? If it's 1-0 at half time, I will back over 2.5 goals second half. But some interesting stats. So these are the candidates, for example, on the 28th, got quite a few yesterday. These are the goals before half time, 2 of them for Oxford, 2 of them for Grimsby. A total of 2 for Everton. Wouldn't have been an over 2.5. Well, it might have been an over 2.5 goals profit if I go 1 goal or 2 goals and then back over 1.5 goals second half if it's 0-0 at half time. So if 1 goal has been scored in a 1.5 or lower over 2.5 goal match before half time, back over 2.5 goals. If no goals has been scored, back over 1.5 goals because you're expecting goals. So yesterday's matches, Braga 5-1, I think it was. Besiktas red card. You can't legislate for the red card. 4-1. Mainz. Fiorentina scored 4 goals. So we might be along some good lines here, but only time will tell. And I'm noticeably putting in the times of the goals as well. The first goal is important. Can we get 15 to 20 minutes out of this market? And then maybe we've got an opportunity to go in the half-time markets as well, if this pattern continues. 1 or 2 goals before half-time for a 1.53 shot. So all going on in the background. I like these football testing lads. Back 0-0 in the half-time market as well. That's producing some interesting results. No draw. Don't forget, these are the shortest priced draw odds of the day. No draw. No draw. No draw. No draw. No draw. Interesting, eh? The bookies can't seem to read these matches right either. Shortest price draw odds of the day tend to end. All dependent on the timing of the second goal here. You could have got a later back trade as well out of this. The real reason I'm choosing it is to back 0-0 in the half-time score market. And we've got 4 of those so far. That's using Fibonacci staking. AI Football Tip Finder, well, he had a bit of a, as Les Dennis would say yesterday, too many calls to the API, so I couldn't get all yesterday's plays. But there is some promise here. Let's have a look at, I know it's quite a lot of plays, but Grimsby or draw, double chance at 5s. That came in. Club Brugge to beat Rangers, 1.57. Benfica to beat Fenerbahce, that came in. Brighton to win. So some good stuff. But it's all dependent, of course, on whether we're getting value. It's all very easy to put in a 1.1 shot, isn't it? But I'm interested in the 2.5 goal plays here for a trading perspective. And I wouldn't have done it over 2.5 goal for Benfica Fenerbahce necessarily. But that's what the AI says. So some interesting stuff. Let's go back to today. So with the Professional Development League and Premier League 2, look for 1.5 over 2.5 goals. Now, I don't know where you can find a website which will show you the over 2.5 goals for all of these matches. Now, I've been reliably informed by ChatGPT that he or she, or they then, can look for the over 2.5 goal prices online for you. So 1.5 or lower over 2.5 goals. Lens and Brest, it's far too early in the season, but it is an elite league. French League. I do like the league. Brest being particularly impressive. But Lens started off with a 0-1 loss to Lyon. That was not unexpected. And Le Havre did give them a battle. Le Havre at home posting some very impressive shot stats, but not quite getting through. A very good away result for Lens as well. They were 1.95 favourite today against Brest. Not enough matches for us to get our teeth into. And for Brest this season, a battling 3-3 against Lille, where Lille led on 3 occasions. But then suddenly a lurch to failing to score. And that, for me, makes it difficult to read Brest, which Brest turns up today. So not enough matches under our belts, I'm afraid, Lens and Brest, which makes you default to the in-play stats at this stage of the season. You have to, by necessity. So we've got French League French League 2, a little bit early in the season, French League 2, but I would be looking at the newly promoted sides. Newly relegated sides, newly relegated to French League 2. It's going to be Montpellier, I think. I don't know what's going on here. Right, it's talking about newly relegated teams. I don't want to know about Lyon. What do I... Right. List the newly relegated teams from French League 1. How about that then? Montpellier, Saint-Etienne and Reims. Those are the sides who could potentially dominate. So when you're seeing newly promoted at odds on at home, take the hint. Okay? The market's expecting the newly relegated side to dominate today, and we're expecting them to dominate in their league. Saint-Etienne and Reims as well. Are Reims playing today? No, they're not. Dunkirk, I think, are newly promoted, so the corollary there is that they might struggle. So I would certainly at 7 o'clock be focusing on Montpellier if they've got any ambition to go back up. Hamburger and St. Pauli, too tough to call so early in the season. Take the hint. St. Pauli battling 3-3 against Dortmund. They could be really up for this. But Hamburger newly promoted, so very much an unknown factor, but they've got a huge stadium for a side languishing in Bundesliga 2 for far too long. Then we get the stadium detail down here, 57,000 at the Volkspark Stadion in Hamburg. So, wow. For a Bundesliga's Vice side, well, they do deserve to be in the Premier League. Don't forget, Kevin Keegan used to play for them with his Brute 33. So you'd be expecting a little bit of Hamburg, but it's a tough match to call because this is a likely relegation 6-pointer. These two will be eyeing points against each other. St. Pauli struggling last season. Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division. I've done the full research for members of footballtradingprofits.com if you want that. We've got a very generous 2025 offer, 14-day free trial for you. So if you want the extra research in your inbox for stuff like the Irish Premier Division, First Division, then all waiting for you. And of course, as a member, I do try my very best to get you these kind of green screens. Serie A, Cremonese are newly promoted. Sassuolo are newly promoted. Has to be a watching brief. Although for me, Sassuolo absolutely bossed Serie B last season. They could keep that momentum going, but far too tough to call. Lecce against AC Milan. It's must-win territory for AC Milan this evening. Had a relatively poor season, and so far just the one match and a loss to Cremonese. So we're already in shock territory. Lecce a 0-0 against Genoa, but this is already must-win territory for AC Milan, having lost to newly promoted Cremonese. Their fans would not let them off the hook. A bit like Marseille against Paris FC, having lost their opener, have to win the second match. Eredivisie, a little too early in the season. Groningen and Heracles, in-play stats. And, of course, the Eerste Divisie. You could use your 2.5 goal strategy here, because it's a 2.5 goal league. So scroll down. Any matches in this league at 1.5 or lower for over 2.5 goals, you home in on those. What we're looking for is good over 2.5 goal candidates in an over 2.5 goal league. It's not rocket science, is it? You don't have to be Ruben Amorim, football genius, to suss that one out. La Liga Portugal, any of the big boys out this evening? No, Gil Vicente Moreirense. And Elche and Levante, Valencia and Getafe, a bit too early in the season for us to get too excited there. Video's getting a bit long. Have a great day. I've got an e-letter to do today at some point, but as you know, it's a bit of a trek today. So I hope to be there early this evening, my time. And who knows? That Fiorentina winner was very welcome yesterday, and I do like the look of Montpellier a bit later. But as ever, on the day off, I do need to take time off, because I will be dedicating myself to you on Saturday and Sunday for a live stream. So if there's a better time to join, just before the weekend, that 14-day free trial. footballtradingprofits.com. It's all in the description box. Have a great day today. Wish me luck on my journey. And hopefully I'll be seeing you for a live stream tomorrow in Pattaya. Have a great day.